Here we are, friends. Module 3, decide on purpose. I did talk about this quote in the last module. I just think it's so good, and it's such a great quote to meditate on and let just your brain get curious about it, right? Successful people make decisions quickly and change them rarely. And they make them quickly once they have all the facts, right? Most of the facts, because there's still going to be some unknowns typically in a lot of our decision making, because we don't know the future. Unsuccessful people take forever, it's my husband, to make decisions, and they change them often, although he doesn't really change them often. But you make a decision and then you keep changing it because you're like, shoot, did I make the right decision? Hello, so-and-so, did I make the right decision, right? So this notion of being successful in decision making is really powerful because it gets us out of this indecision place, knowing that you are going to be more successful when you make decisions versus sitting in indecision, or again, which I guess is indecision, continuously changing those decisions is going to create, again, that zero result place. So I wanted to talk about stepping into our decisions today because it's so important that we not only make a decision in our mind, but that we take action in that decision. Otherwise, it's not really a decision. There's no evidence to support the fact that you've made a decision when you're not taking action. So I want to give you an example of one of my former clients. She knew in her heart, and this is so true in our decision making, and I've shared this so often with women. You know, we as women have this intuitive place. We have this mom gut, if you will, right? Our gut and our conscience and our spirit speaks to us, but we often don't listen to it. We listen to the world, we listen to the noise, we sit in the fear and the doubt, and then we don't make the decision that we know is calling us. The decision that is like gnawing at us. This client of mine, even before her and I started working together, there was a gnawing decision of divorcing her husband. In fact, there was probably a decision to have more courage to like give the ring back when they were engaged, right? So now there's this decision that she needs to make whether or not she's going to continue to stay in this relationship or get a divorce. She knew in her heart it was time to divorce him, right? This is hard. This is new. There's so much discomfort in ending a relationship, ending a marriage. But again, there was something in her heart calling her to make this decision. And what I see so often when we put off decisions and we just let it like fester and we just kind of like push it down and we stop listening to our heart and our spirit, eventually it blows up in your face. Like if I continued to nudge down the decision to leave my counseling job, I would have probably shown up as this unforgiving version of myself, maybe a physiological side effect of pushing that decision down would have shown up. I would have felt so burnt out, and maybe, dear, I don't want to speak this out loud, but maybe I would have ended up with like shingles, or what's that, like stress-induced type of like face thing. Right? These are the types of decisions that we are being called to make to show up greater. It's almost like, oh God, what's the analogy I'm thinking of? It's almost like, you're holding on to that little light teddy bear and God's like, no, here, I need you. I want to give you this big, huge, fluffy teddy bear. And you're like, no, I like my safe teddy bear. Stepping into that new, taking on that new big old teddy bear feels uncomfortable, right? So divorce, ending a relationship, building a business, leaving a job, all of these decisions that are calling us, that are gnawing inside of us, and we're still refusing to make those decisions. This client made that decision once we kind of got into the coaching awareness, clarity piece. She made the decision in her circumstance to get a divorce. Okay, so we're just going to use this as the circumstance. She decided to get divorced. Okay, so the thought was the decision, right? Like, it is time for me to leave this man. I know I deserve better, right? So all of these thoughts that supported the decision in her mind to get divorced, great. Like that, the thought place, of course, is super important. However, because you are still stepping into new and change, and then you have to take action in this feeling place, you are going to be moving through discomfort, moving through that yellow light, slowly starting to embrace the big new teddy bear versus and like slowly giving away the small little cozy teddy bear that you're used to, right? Moving through this discomfort is that feeling place. So you are going to feel discomfort here because of this circumstance, because of the life 50-50. You're not going to feel good getting divorced. You're not going to feel super, super duper like on fire when you have to like leave a job that you've known forever, right? Like, and you don't know the future, the new, right? It's going to feel uncomfortable. That is the real human emotion. There's going to be a level of discomfort there. That's not going away. We're not going to change that. You have to move through this discomfort. You have to feel the discomfort to level up the thinking even more so that you can take action. Okay. So within this place, my client, and I know even in my last example, I was talking about ending a relationship and making those decisions. But the first step in taking action to confirm this decision was to contact the divorce attorney. It was to start, thinking about when you're going to communicate this to your children. It's thinking about, where am I going to live? Okay, well, my kids still want to be in the same school system. I can do that. Okay, well, you know what? This part-time gig isn't going to support that. So I also have to apply for a new job. I mean, there's so many decisions to make under even just one decision, especially when it's a hard, challenging, life-altering decision. Moving through that discomfort and then taking action confirms that I'm closer to getting a divorce. I'm calling the attorney. The action of talking to my children, planning out the time to speak with them, and them being totally fine with it, right? They're like, yeah, we've been hoping that you were going to leave this guy, right? Like, the next action of, again, securing a place to stay, right? It moves you closer to the actual decision. It gets you to that next version of yourself that you are going to be stepping into. It confirms to you that you have the courage and the strength to make this decision and take the action. Okay, so all of these action steps confirm the decision. Okay, and it gets you closer to the result. What was interesting about this particular client decision was that once it got to that final step where she, had to tell him, I'm leaving you. I've already contacted attorneys. That big conversation was so uncomfortable. Talk about like having to just give yourself all of the inspiration and assurance to have that conversation, right? Because you are feeling that level of discomfort. Having that conversation with her husband, now soon to be ex-husband, in communicating that I'm leaving you, and also packing up her stuff and scheduling a day to actually leave. Those final steps in terms of the action place confirmed the decision, and it confirmed the fact that now I've gotten through a lot of discomfort, but there's still more discomfort to come. And that to us is like, what the heck? I'm so done with decision making. I'm so oversaturated with decision making. I don't want to make any more decisions. I don't want to feel any more discomfort, right? So you make all of these decisions, and then ultimately you get to that result where, yeah, now there's no going back, right? This is this new version of me, like that I have to fully step into. So those two last final action steps were like paralyzing to her because it was such massive discomfort that was going to confirm the decision and get her to that result. It's very, very interesting how that happens, especially because, right, we want to stay safe. We want to conserve energy. Having that hard conversation with the soon-to-be ex-husband, and then legit coordinating, actually moving out, and then having to spend a night in your new home with just your children, or right, like having to think about what life is going to look like, or just, again, all of the uncertainty that is also going to show up once you finally get to the ultimate result, which is confirm the ultimate decision, which is the divorce. So I want you to think about this in your own life as far as actions that you need to take to confirm the decision, actions that you need to take that are going to help move you through the discomfort, help you feel through the discomfort, right? What are some of the actions that you are going to take that align to this decision and that are going to move you to discomfort and get you results? And maybe not always the results that you want, but the growth and the revelations and the epiphanies and all of the things on the other side of moving through this and making that decision. And most of all, the confidence and the trust and having your own back feeling that you're going to give to yourself. It is such an ultimate gift to give yourself the gift, the gift of decision making and being this firm decision maker who can truly, again, align actions to decisions. So get after that list, and I will see you in the next module.